The Universal Declaration of Human Rights. Whereas disregard and contempt for human rights have resulted in barbarous acts, which have outraged the conscience of mankind, and the advent of a world in which human beings shall enjoy freedom of speech and belief, and freedom from fear and want, has been proclaimed the highest aspiration of the common people. Whereas it is essential, if man is not to be compelled to have recourse, as a last resort, to rebellion against tyranny and oppression, that human rights should be protected by the rule of law. The Universal Declaration of Human Rights, Article 1. All human beings are born free and equal in dignity and rights. They are endowed with reason and conscience, and should act towards one another in the spirit of brotherhood. Barbarous, barbarian, barbaric, brutal, brutish, coarse, cruel, heartless, ignorant, inhumane, monstrous, primitive, rough, rude, ruthless, sadistic, uncivil, uncivilized, vulgar, wicked, wild. Disregard for human rights results in barbarous acts. Barbarous acts. When you disregard human rights, when you don't understand human rights, when you don't put human rights first and foremost in your heart and in your mind, well, then it creates barbarous acts. And barbarous is synonymous with the words cruel, heartless, vulgar, ruthless, ignorant, wicked, brutal, and brutish. So these are the attributes that you will express. This is what your conscience will express if you do not regard human rights as an important concept within your own spirit, within your own temple. The statement here says disregard for human rights results in barbarous acts. So it's trying to say that it equals, it will produce these acts and these attributes if you disregard human rights. A disregard for human rights produces a conscience that is cruel, that is inhumane, that is primitive, that is sadistic. That's the conscience you will be getting if you disregard human rights. That is, your conscience will be heartless. Your conscience will be ruthless, ignorant, and rude. And I'm not exaggerating here. I'm going to qualify this. I don't disregard human rights. I try to respect them as much as I can. First of all, for my own self, and then for others who I am in interaction with. Now, I will not watch Hollywood movies. I will not watch a movie that produces murder on that screen, or violence, or shows a human being being hurt, being shot, being stabbed, or any other of those qualifications. Why? Because that's a disregard for human rights. Whether people say it's just fantasy, it's only fiction, it's still real to your eyes and to your mind and to your heart. Why do you think there's some people that can't even watch it? They'll turn away their eyes from the violence because it affects them emotionally. It is real, even though it is fiction. It affects you in the real way. And by watching that, you disregard human rights. You disregard the freedoms and rights of a human being to watch something like that get murdered. And by doing so, you make your conscience cruel and heartless and ruthless and inhumane. And it actually is, in a way, primitive. Because why would you want to sit there and watch somebody get their head shut off? Why would you want to sit there and watch someone pull out a knife and chop someone's head off of a human? That's because you disregard human rights. You disregard the qualities of life. That's why you can watch that stuff. And when you do, you create your own conscience. You have the freedom to do what you want with your conscience. Everyone has the freedom of conscience. But you create your conscience that is heartless and ruthless, whether you believe so or not. It may not express itself in all of your dealings, but it's there. Drip by drip, you're making that thing grow inside of you. The more you disregard human rights, the more you disregard human rights and stop and operate in disrespect of human rights, when you don't keep human rights first and foremost in your mind, then you produce a conscience that has in it a desire for money and material goods. And you have a conscience that is more concerned about yourself and about your desires. And the proof of that is we have all passed a man or a woman on the street who's in need, but we chose to look the other way. Hopefully that'll stop from this day forward. Even if you can't do much, what's $5, $10 to someone who hasn't eaten in a day or two? But nevertheless, if we disregard human rights, our conscience, it doesn't express this. We don't have concern. We can look the other way. And that only is teaching us on an individual level that, hey, yeah, there is something wrong with my conscience. Because really, we learn that do unto others as we want done to ourselves. But yet somewhere in the learning of that verse and in the connection of actually applying that to one another here in Canada, it's like there's a line that's been cut. It's because we disregard human rights. We've been taught to disregard human rights because the ones in authority who operate with us do not regard our human rights. So it's a flowing effect, a stemming effect, down to our own characters. It's important to know your rights and freedoms. It's important to know this because when you keep them in your mind, then you can express them. When you learn them and understand them, then you can express them for yourself and you can create that freedom that's available for you. And now you know who you are in that aspect. But not only that, then you can show others. You have the desire to show others because now you've acquired it for yourself. You should slowly change the things that you do and touch that disregard human rights. You should analyze your life and see where you're investing your energy, your entertainment and so forth, and the things that are portraying to you a disregard for human rights, for life and equality. You should adjust this. I'm not saying today or tomorrow, but I'm saying overall. How can you sit and start studying about what your human rights are and what equality is and what we're entitled to and the respect thereof, and then turn around and pay $12 to go watch a movie where someone chops somebody's head off? It doesn't make sense. You have to make a change in your conscience. You have to start standing for what is right.